Ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Drew.
Hi, my name is Drew. That is Brian K. And today we are going to talk to you about a topic that I think most of you have probably heard about, the Grail pen. Now, this is, I guess there's not an official definition for what a Grail pen is. What do you, in your mind, what is a Grail pen?
A Grail pen is a pen that you want to buy, but you shouldn't buy.
That makes sense. So normally they're more pricey, perhaps out of your comfort zone as far as your wallet is concerned.
Oh, yeah.
But there are a lot of pens out there. I mean, if you're into watches, if you're into pens, if you're into knives, there's one of those lofty pie in the sky, maybe one day goals for you. And obviously we have some, and we're going to share those with you. So think about what you are, dreaming of, and we're going to show you what maybe one day.
One day.
Probably
Yeah.
not. We'll get.
Hopefully.
You want to start us off?
Yeah. So we have the Monte Winfield High Water,
High water.
which this pen is machined beautifully, and the materials on it are amazing. The carbon fiber cap is spun around the titanium frame, and this clip, deep carry clip, perfect for a pen, perfect for me too.
Deep carry clip. That's interesting. So that means that the clip is coming off from the top. So when you put it in a pocket, it goes all the way down.
Completely disappears. And then for the threading on the barrel is completely square cut, and the fit is so tight, and there's even a chamfer right there. So when you put the section back into the pen, the threading hits perfectly every time, and it meets with the crowning on the inside of the barrel.
Can I see
It's
that?
absolutely perfect.
So when you say chamfer, what exactly are you talking about?
So when you unscrew it and you put it back in, the bottom of the thread there is cut at an
Oh,
angle.
I see.
Yeah.
And then look at that.
Yeah, it's so tightly machined that it's airtight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that before. That is pretty surprising.
It's amazing, and it's a piece of technical skill. It's a showcase.
And Brian notices more about this sort of stuff than I do. Brian is much more attuned to engineering feats than I am. I'm not super educated on that, but Brian, you're into knives and woodworking, so you've experienced kind of what it takes to manufacture certain things like that.
To make something to really tight tolerances, yeah.
Right. So when you notice stuff like that, it stands out.
It does.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, for my first one, I'm going to go with the Aurora Optima.
Ooh.
This is the red version. So I was lucky enough to accompany Brian Goulet to Italy last year, and we visited the Aurora factory as well as the Montegrappa factory. And ever since then, I have just been jonesing for an Aurora or a Montegrappa. I chose this because I was actually pretty into this pen even before we visited Italy.
Oh.
It's so very Aurora. You've got this gorgeous ink window. You've got their custom-made ebonite feeds, the custom nib, and after seeing all of these things be made, I am just so in love with how much handwork goes into creating these. Every single piece of this pen was made at that factory I visited.
That's crazy.
It was all assembled by hand. I saw them putting it all together. I saw them cutting the ebonite channels. I saw them stamping the feed,
Wow.
just everything. And for Grail pen, obviously, I would probably go with a Montegrappa Chaos if we had it here. Sylvester Stallone's obnoxious snake and skull pen, but this is going to do for today. Either way, I just want an Aurora Montegrappa, and this one, to me, just screams Aurora. Everything about it from top to bottom. Soup to nuts, if you will.
Soup to nuts.
There we go. What do we got next?
I've got the Pilot Silver,
Oh, my God.
and that is a beautiful pen.
That's
Highly
not one that
polished.
gets a lot of press.
It's not, and my favorite part about this is the weight of it. It's surprisingly light, and the high polish, and of course the
Ooh,
inlaid nib.
that
which
is stunning.
is a real treat from Pilot. These things write so good.
And they don't dry out. There's a technical principle behind that too. Like having the feed's not exposed. Oh my God, I can talk.
The feed's not exposed, so you have no ink actually really able to evaporate from where it would normally on the underside of the nib.
And it looks awesome.
And it looks crazy cool. And yeah, this
And
pen
is that there's a hole right there, so you can fill the pen without it being really too far submerged.
Yeah, a tiny little bit of ink is all you need. Yeah, this and the cap. Oh, when you cap this thing, it makes the best sound.
right? And like a more traditional feed nib system like this, I'm going to have to submerge this thing all the way down to the grip.
Yeah.
With that, you only have to submerge, like, what is that? You know, like a centimeter or two?
Yeah, that's it. The pattern on this one especially is the silk pattern, and it's just gorgeous. This one is on the list because of how pretty it is.
Right.
Period. And the writing experience, because I know that Pilot inlaid nibs are perfect.
That's stunning.
Yeah.
So the high water is going for $375 right now. The Optima at $535, and then the Sterling Pilot there is $544. We're gonna take a jump up now because my Grail pen is like right up there with the Ark of the Covenant here.
Yeah.
And it is the Visconti Il Magnifico. Speaking of weight, you say that is surprisingly light.
Yeah.
This, surprisingly not light.
Heavy.
This thing is marble and sterling. And I don't know if you're going to find a writing experience more hefty than this right now. So the whole aesthetic of this pen, again, just like the Aurora, I think screams Aurora, the Optima screams Aurora. This thing just screams Visconti.
Oh yeah, big time.
They have had so many pens heavily influenced by Florentine Renaissance, and this one just captures it all. So Il Magnifico, they took inspiration from Lorenzo de' Medici, and he is the Magnificent, so that's what's being referenced here. And everything about it it looks like an artifact that was created just right from the Duomo or something really significant in Florence. It's just stunning. And it's marble. It's legit marble and sterling. If I had $2,000 and you told me I had to drop it on a pen, this is the one I would do. Yeah. And just you do that cap. Like do that.
Oh yeah, the cap
hook.
on this thing is it's amazing. Ooh, pop.
And there are a lot of Visconti caps that do this, but this sterling on sterling feel that you get from this, oh my God.
Yeah, this one is, I mean, for the price of a used car, you get a lot of pen. And it's got history, and it's got the Visconti quality. It's
crazy. It's a crazy pen. So yeah, this one is almost $2,000. So, and they're coming out with another one that's a little bit more expensive. This is actually the last one we have right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then they're coming out with a blue one in lapis lazuli with gold trim, like gold enameled sterling.
That will be a pretty pen.
Yeah, that's gonna be shocking. So if you watched the last Right Now when Brian was with us, we were talking about frankenpens, and he said that he had this crazy wackadoodle idea to put a Pilot vanishing point nib inside of a Noodler's Ahab. You definitely didn't do that, did you?
Nope, not at all.
My gosh, look at this.
It looks so. It looked like Beetlejuice, right?
I don't know what this looks like. It shouldn't happen. Did you ever think to stop and think if you should?
Oh no, not at all. I literally just, I went into the workshop and I cut the section off the Noodler's pen and got it on there.
Does it write?
Oh, it writes like a dream. Yeah, it's great. Because I had the extra vanishing point unit when it writes.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
So we were trying to think of a name for it. We just couldn't. We got like the Pilot Hab, the Vanishing Ahab, I don't know.
The Noodlet.
The Noodlet. I do not like that at all.
I don't like the Noodlet.
Oh my gosh. So there you have it. That does not need to exist, but it does.
Yep.
Just kind of like the Grail pen, you don't need it, but you do.
But you just really want it.
I'm sure we all have one of those in our life. What's yours? Let us know in the comments. I'm sure that we'd love to hear.
Yeah.
Even if it's one we don't carry. There's tons of pens I want that we don't carry.
Oh, yeah.
Chaos. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Brian K. and Drew, so thank you, and right on.